Welcome to Mining Minerals. Arriving in a comfortable standing position, releasing the weight down through your mat into the earth. Coming to bring your hands to your throat, a gentle stroke. And then we have thumbs, index fingers. We're placing them at the front of the throat here, connecting into the thyroid gland. And if you imagine the thyroid gland like a butterfly, each of your thumbs, index fingers press into a wing, and in the wing you have a parathyroid gland, a very small gland in each wing that, along with the thyroid, enables a regulation of the level of calcium in the blood. Going to lace the fingers together. We will close these glands with the weight of the head, the elbows. We'll now open the elbows, return to a neutral position. And then take a sideways arc. Feel how that affects the thyroid, the parathyroid, the neck. And come back through the center. Relax the shoulders down. And find that on the other side. Coming back centrally. Allowing the arms to reach up. Palms are facing. And we're going to rotate the arms one way, the other way. Then we reach one arm, the other. But see that it's being led also by the torso. The lung on each side. We come back. We create a rotation. We rotate the other way. We reach up. And then the other side. From here, we soften through the knees, swing down, bring the throat towards the upper legs and back. A second time. And then we have two more, but with a heel lift. So you lift the heels, swing down, come back, swing down, and come back. The arms are down. So the body requires lots of different minerals We've talked about calcium along with phosphorus, important for the bones, and the bones are a reservoir for these two minerals. We have the hands for the kidneys, brush down. So in the traditional Chinese medicine, the kidneys very much connected to bone in the body. From here, we're going to bend the knees, feel that push down into the lower leg and feet bone. We'll come into our chair. We'll take the prayer hands and we're going to turn to the left. You might stay here. You might be able to bring the right hand down to the left leg. You might be able to come to the outside of the leg. From here, we open the arms, bring through the heart. We close. Come back up to the heart. The left leg comes back. We're into warrior two. The front leg, see if you can lift the heel. If that's not comfortable, then keep the heel down. From here, we arc back. We are turning. This back leg will come in. We're on the ball of the foot. We're turning the leg out. Hands back to prayer. You might stay here. You might come into a balance. And then returning to parallel. So I'm changing sides. And kidneys. Stroking down. Landing through the bones in the body. Prayer, hands, bending as far as is comfortable. Extending the arms. The arms come back to prayer. We turn now to the right leg. We might rest the elbow on that leg. We might be able to come to the outside of the leg. Then open the arms. If that's comfortable, bring the heart through. Coming back to your prayer hands. Then we take the right leg all the way back. We extend the arms. If it's possible, lifting that front heel. Arcing over. Coming back. Back leg in onto the ball of the foot. Then turning it out. Hands to prayer. Either staying like this or lifting that leg into a balance. Feel the weight dropping down through the bones of the supporting leg. and release. Taking the stance wider. Fingers front, thumb back, squeezing here. So on the right side, you have the liver. We not only need minerals for the body, but vitamins too. And it's in the liver that we activate vitamin D, as well as storing minerals such as copper and iron. Releasing. We're taking the left leg. We're going to bend it and see if we can lift the heel. The other leg bends as well. We arc towards the left side. The heel comes down. Take a pause, then we lift the right heel and arc towards that. We come back, the heel is down. And take the legs possibly a little bit wider. Again, if it's not comfortable, stay where you were. We're going to bend both. We have hands on the upper legs. We begin with bent elbows. Then we're going to turn to the left by straightening the right arm. We come back through the center. We're going to go to the right by straightening the left arm. Back to the center. So one more each side. So it's straightening the right will turn us to the left and back. Straightening the left will turn us to the right and back. From here, we're going to try to bring the hands down to the floor. If you can't reach, then keep them on the leg. If you can, come down. See if you can then widen a little bit more. That might not be appropriate. And for anyone that's comfortable, you could also come down onto elbows. Possibly even head. Wherever you are, finding your journey back up. Bringing the legs in, but we're still staying wide. We'll soften through the knees. Take the hands down the insides of the projecting hip bones. So we're connecting with the ascending and descending aspects of the large intestine. Here in the large intestine, we absorb vitamin K. We'll rest the hands somewhere here. And we're circling the pelvis to the left. We're then turning in that direction for a triangle. So lower arm where it's comfortable for you, it can stay on the leg. Some people might reach to the foot. From here, the top arm comes down. It might rest now on that leg. Then, either with the hand on the leg or on the floor, we're going to take possibly the other arm up. So a reverse triangle. We then find our way out of this. We're still staying in this direction, but bending the front leg and finding our warrior one. Soften out, return, ready to begin again by stroking down inside the projecting hip bones. We rest the hands, this time circles to the right. Then we're going to turn that way for our triangle. Top arm down to meet the other arm on the leg. So you can either stay here or you could take the other arm up and come into the reverse triangle. From wherever you are, bend that front leg, find your way back up into warrior one. And then we come back, this time to a parallel position. Tune into how you're standing, and possibly you can feel a difference from when we first started. We're now going to transition onto hands and knees. I will need to change my camera angle and have a drink, and I'll meet you on that. So we're back to a sense of the parathyroid glands, the four in the thyroid, supporting the calcium levels in the blood. And if we cat arc up, you might notice that the throat area closes. If we cat arc down, it opens up. So have a play with this. Tune into the sense of closure through neutral to open. The next time you come into neutral, we're going to prepare to open and close in a slightly different way. We're going to take the hands forwards and curl the toes under. I'm going to come back, bring the pelvis towards the heels. You may or may not touch them, but this will start to close you down in that throat area. To open up, we return to the neutral place, release the toes, and come the other way. So again, playing with these two, feeling how the throat closes down, the parathyroid glands, and then how they come through neutral and change to open. So needing to have different experiences, open, neutral, and closed. The next time you come back to a neutral position, come to find your high kneeling. You will lose my head, but you don't need that for this. We are just taking hold of the elbows. We're going to bring the pelvis a little bit further forwards for a very simple back bend, but you may notice that the throat is opened in this position. Please adjust it to make it comfortable for you. Come in and out as you need. And then we release. Take the hands down. Bones, calcium, phosphorus. The minerals of the skeletal structural positions in the body. From here, a rock forwards and back. Feel the weight transition through the hand bones, the lower leg bones. Then let the toes curl under. We are lifting the knees a little bit into a hover, so you can feel that weight dropping down through the bones. And we lower, hands to the right so that the left leg can come through. Then have a little rock forwards and backwards here. Then we're turning this foot out. It might be a little bit. You might even slide the foot out a bit more. It could be even bigger. See what feels right. From here, we're going to find our balance. So with the leg turned out, you'll possibly find it easier to bring the weight between the two knees. Some of you might be able to lift that front heel, and then we can take the arms up. We bring the foot flat down, the hands come down. This front leg comes back until you can turn it to bring it into the pigeon. In the pigeon, we're pushing the sternum or the breastbone forwards. Then we're coming down onto elbows. Now you might be quite high on the elbows. Some of you might be able to bring the forehead to the lower arms with bent elbows. We find our way out of this. We let the toes curl under, the hands come back. We're lifting up into a standing forward fold. Now we can keep the legs bent. We're going to see if we can clasp the elbows. So you can stay here like this if it's comfy. You could let one leg lengthen and then the other. You might be able to lengthen both. Wherever you are now, release out. We'll come back to hands and knees. I'm going to turn the other way. I'm going to give one hand a shake out. The other hand a shake out. And then we'll go again. So we have the weight shifting. Feel it dropping through the support bones. The toes curl under. We have a hover. And we come back. Hands this time to the left so that the right leg can come through. Take the time you need. We have a rock here once you've arrived. Then, turning the foot out. If you want it deeper, then you can even slide the foot out a little more. From here, we come up, find our balance. It might be possible to lift that heel. We have the weight now between the knees. If it's not comfortable with a lifted heel, allow it to be flat. We come back down. We'll need to lower the heel. The leg comes back until it can reorganize itself and come all the way through. Here we lift through the sternum. Then we come to the inside of that front knee. Might keep the hands connected only. You might come down to the elbows. You might be able to rest the forehead on the lower arms. Then we find our way out of this, returning to the hands and knees position. Let the toes curl under, hands come back so we can push into a forward fold. The knees are bent. Possibly we take hold of the elbows. If not, you can have them forwards. You might like to lengthen one leg and lengthen the other, but you can keep them both bent. Some of you might like to lengthen both. Feel the weight dropping through the bones back to the earth. the contact of bones through the arms. And then we release back. So for the liver, we start to circle through the rib cage, the solar plexus, one way, doesn't matter which, and then the other way. Let that settle. In order to activate this mid region, we're now going to just let the feet come one side and then the other. You might feel how that creates movement in that middle part of the torso. Let that cease. Then we're taking the right leg, it lengthens back. You might stay here and twist a little. You might be able to take the left arm onto the sacrum. You might even be able to open it up. We bring that back. We're going to change over legs. So it's opposite hand to leg, so it'll be the right this time, comes onto the sacrum. See how far you can twist, turn. If you want more, you can open right up. And then bring that down. High kneeling, no, low kneeling. Let the wrists ease their way out in both directions. A flow now to connecting with the large intestine. Hands back down. Right leg is back. And we push in to it. When the weight's forward, we lift the leg. We keep it straight and we're pulsing. This leg then bends in and the leg comes out to the side. Now I've lost my foot, but the toes are in the same direction as my fingers. And here we rock side to side and pause. Seeing if the left arm now can either come down to elbow or to shoulder. You can stay here. Some of you might be able to take a hand to the sacrum or the lower back, or it might even wrap around to that thigh. We find our way out of this The leg bends back in. Toes are curled under. We have a downward facing dog. We're going to take the right leg again. It's going to bend and we're going to try and circle. It doesn't matter which way you go first, because then you'll circle in the other way. And bring that all the way down to a high kneeling position this time. Shaking out the hands. I'm turning to the other side. And the hands come down. We have the left leg back. We rock into it. The next time the weight runs down through the arm bones and the hands, the leg comes up and we pulse. Then we bend that leg in and out to the side. Toes are in the same direction as the fingers. And we rock side to side. Then we're taking the right arm now, possibly down to the elbow. It might be down to the shoulder. You can stay here, or the top arm could rest sacrum, lower back, or wrap. We find our way out of this. We're going to bring this extended leg back in. We're coming into the downward facing dog. And it's the left leg that bends and it's circling. 1, 2, and then the other way. 1, 2, and back, down. From here, we're coming to find a comfortable sitting position, however you would like to sit. It doesn't need to be like me. Feel that the spine can grow up to the sky and down to the earth at the same time. Brushing gently down the throat. Then the thumb, index fingers only, just making a little press into the 4 wings of the thyroid to connect with the parathyroid glands, supporting the calcium levels in the blood. We lace the fingers. We bring them to the back of the head. By bringing the weight of the head and the elbows forwards and down, feel how these glands, thyroid and parathyroid glands, close. Then come back to neutral. So elbows bringing us back. We're now going to have a sense of opening them by lifting through the heart, coming to look up to the ceiling or the sky if you happen to be outside. And back Going to go one side. And then the other side. From here, the arms come up. They rotate at the shoulders. Then reach, reach. Rotate one way, the other way. Reach, reach. Rotate and back. Reach, reach. The arms come down. However you have your legs, we're coming into 2 legs extended, so you might already be here. We're taking the hands behind, we're lifting up. As you lift the heart, it will also open up the throat. You can stay here, or you might want to lift the pelvis. It sometimes helps to point the feet. And then we find our way out of this. The bones. So we're brushing down the kidneys, as in the traditional Chinese medicine. The kidneys have a strong influence over the bones. Then we're bringing the hands to the kneecaps and we're tapping. See if you can hear the bone. And we're going to travel that all the way down the shins. So the kneecap and the shins are very close to the surface. Hopefully you can hear your bones and you can feel the vibration. And this will just take us into a simple forward fold. We're rolling back up. We are taking the right leg, it's bending. The left arm's coming down the left leg. We're taking an arc. Then we're going to turn this arc into a fold. We are sliding all the way back. We're taking the leg and the hands are behind. We're lifting up through. We can stay here or we might like to lift. We come back down. This bent leg comes over the lengthened. The opposite arm wraps around. So you have a twist here. Some of you might like to also bend the lengthened leg, but you don't need to. We come back. And we go again. So the legs lengthen. We rub down the kidneys. We tap the bones into a fold. We roll on back up. And as we do so, we bend the left leg. The right arm comes down the right leg, and then the left arm arcs over. We then turn that into a fold. And find our way back up. The foot of the bent leg, the sole comes down. We lift up through, we stay here, or we raise. When we come down, or even if we haven't come down, we're going to take the bent leg over. So the underneath leg can stay lengthened, or it could bend. We have the opposite arm to leg wraps, and we twist. We find our way out of this. So traveling now to the liver on the right side. It stores copper and iron. It activates vitamin D. We are arcing one way. We're going to take the top arm from here and bring ourselves into a fold. It might be the hands, it might be the elbows. Then we walk the hands back in. Then go the other way. The top arm's going to bring us down into a fold again, either at hands or elbows. We walk the hands in to come back. Then we are twisting to one side. If you have the hand on the outside of the leg, you have a deeper range in your twist. Okay, the other way. We come back to the center. The left leg here bends. Left hand supports. We reach through. We may stay here. We may lift and pause. And then we use that top arm to bring us down, where we swap over. So the lengthened leg bends, the bent leg lengthens, the right arm behind. We reach through. We can stay here. We could lift, a pause. And then we bring it all the way back down. And come in for our final flow. connecting with the large intestine, which absorbs vitamin K. So we're going to lengthen the legs. Take the hands back. We'll start with the right. We're going to bend it, make a wing, and just let it open and close. Feel how it connects into the ascending aspect of the large intestine. Then the next time it's up, we're lifting the foot and we're just tapping down. 1, 2, 3, 4. We lengthen the leg. We have 3 lifts. 1, 2, 3. We bring it back in. We're supporting somewhere here. We're lengthening. So your hands might be around your thighs or your calves. Then it bends back. We find our modified fish. So opening through the parathyroid gland. From here, we have a cycle. 3 of those. Then the leg comes down. We point and flex. And you might notice that will rock you all the way through. We take a pause and we bend the left leg. This will help us to come up. The left leg then is opening, closing. When it's up, this next time, we take the foot off, we tap 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. The leg then will lengthen down. 3 leg lifts from here. 1, 2, 3. Then we bend the leg back in. We support it somewhere that suits us. And we lengthen out. And we can also bring the heart towards the leg. Bend it back. It's going to take us into this modified fish, lengthening through the neck here. The bent leg, we then cycle 1, 2, 3. The whole leg then extends and we flex and point, which will rock us through the fish. From here, any leg, let it bend a little so you can slide and wiggle yourself down to lie on your mat. So we have our legs lengthened to begin with. We're going to stroke the throat and then take our arms into cactus if it's comfy. If it's not, then however you want to. We're going to let the head now roll from side to side. Feel how the parathyroid glands are moved. The next time you are through the center, come to nodding. Take a pause. We're bringing the arms down. We're bending the legs. So close down the parathyroid and thyroid glands. We're pushing up into our bridge, but we're going to deepen the bridge by clasping the hands underneath, trying to lift up a bit higher onto the shoulders. If that's not comfortable, then a simpler bridge. And when you're there, noticing how the throat is closed. And then finding your way out of this. Taking a moment here with your knees bent, that's bringing your hands to your belly, feeling the rise and fall. Then a few pelvic tilts to push into the kidneys, sense of bone. Let that settle. And then choose a leg. Doesn't matter which one you choose. Let that one come up. And we're just turning the leg in the hip socket. We'll bring that down and change over. Bringing the hands to the projecting hip bones. Feel the bone there. Come to tap the sternum. Feeling bone here. And then pressing into bone in your face. We need the calcium and the phosphorus for bone. Bone reservoirs for these minerals. Yeah. And coming to the liver again, we have a squeeze. We're now lengthening the left leg. The right leg we bring up. We're taking it over the left. We have a little pulse. The other arm can come out. You can stay here, or you might like to try and lengthen this leg. It may stay high, it might come to the floor. Feel possibly something along here. Then we bend it back in. It's going to come up. It's actually going to come over. If you see, I've turned the heel out and it's just coming over that lengthened leg. We have a few more pulses. And then I'm going to change over. So that one comes down. It might feel very different to the other leg. The other leg is coming up. A little pulse here. I'm going to take it over. The other arm can come out. You might choose to lengthen this leg. It can stay up. It might be able to go down. And then I'm going to bring it back in. It comes up again. We're turning the heel out. The toes are towards the other leg and we're pulsing it across. bend here and here. So for the large intestine that absorbs vitamin K, you have a few circles in one direction and then the other direction. You might feel this activating into the large intestine. Here. We are then going to slide the legs down. We're going to take the hands inside the projecting hip bone so we can feel the ascending and descending large intestine, and slide one leg and then the other. We take a pause. Choose a leg to bend, it doesn't matter which one. And we're going to swap over a bent and a lengthened leg. So you can either do it this way, where you keep the legs relatively low, or you could take the leg up and bend it. Okay. Have a play with that, see what suits you. And then a double leg press, if that's comfortable. If it's not, put one foot down, have a single leg press and then change over. Bringing the soles of the feet down. From here, we are turning onto our side. So we're having a roll here. So if your right side is closest to the earth, you're pressing into it. Take a pause. And we're squeezing the other side. If this is your right side, then you're squeezing into the liver. So you've either squeezed into the liver or you've rocked into the liver. And place that hand down. We find our way to semi-sitting. I'm going to take a pause here to reacclimatise. Going to slowly come up with bent legs. I'm going to take our hands underneath, possibly holding at the wrists, see what happens. I'm going to take one leg, rolling over onto the toes for a sense of bone again. And then the other toes. From here, coming to your comfortable finishing position, whatever that might be. We're placing fingertips this time with the elbows out to the parathyroid glands. We're leading with elbows and heart. We're twisting one way, back, twisting the other way, come back, bringing our hands together in prayer, closing our eyes, just noticing your internal environment, how it feels. The tingles, the twitches, the itches, the breath, the heartbeat, where you feel comfy and where you feel less comfy. Simultaneously, we have an external environment, hearing it through your ears, feeling it through the air on your skin. And softly opening the eyes, receiving it through sight, the colors, the textures, the shapes around you. Thank you very much for sharing this journey today. So you might have time to stay here longer, absorb. You might be transitioning to do something else. Again, coming through the skin helps you to adapt. And I would like to thank you for sharing mining minerals with me.